Florence Nightingale, the lady with the lamp, the angel of Crimea. Have you ever been to the hospital and wanted to know how the nursing career got started? Florence Nightingale went into a field that was looked down upon at her age. Today I'm going to educate you on Florence Nightingale and how nursing became a respectable career. I've been in the nursing field for 20 years, and everything that I do is influenced by Florence Nightingale. You may not choose a career in nursing, but everything that goes on in the medical field has something to do with Florence Nightingale. I will introduce you to Florence Nightingale from her upbringing, career, accomplishments, and honors. Florence was born May 12, 1820, to a very wealthy family. She was the second daughter, and her sister were homeschooled by their father. At that time, in the Victorian era, it was looked down upon for women of her social elitist to become anything other than a wife and a mother. Florence was expected to get married at a very young age. At the age of 17, Florence turned down a suitor because she had a calling on her life. She felt that God had called her to become a nurse. Florence was insistent that she become a nurse, so hesitantly, reluctantly, her father allowed her to go into nursing. He allowed her to go to Paris, Germany, to Pastor Theodor Fiedler's Hospital and School of Nursing, and then on to Paris for 3 months at Sisters of Mercies for further training. In 1854, the Crimean War broke out. The British were unprepared for the sick soldiers, the injuries that occurred in the field. Due to lack of medical supplies, overcrowding, and unsanitary conditions, there were many complaints. The Secretary of War, Sidney Herbert, asked Nightingale to manage a group of nurses to take care of the soldiers. Florence Nightingale and the nurses brought supplies, nutritious foods, and cleanliness to the military hospital. They also provided individual support and care. Nightingale, at night, would walk through the halls of the hospitals and check on the patients with a little lamp. It looked like a little candle, had some oil. She would peek in on her patients and make sure everything was going okay. Thus, the nickname, the lady with the lamp, and to many, the angel of Crimea. Nightingale also instituted the Invalid's Kitchen, which cooked nutritious food that catered to what the dietary requirements that the soldiers needed. She also established laundry so that patients would have clean linens, and also classroom and libraries so that there would be intellectual stimulation. While Nightingale and the nurses were present, the death rate at the hospital went from 40% to 2%. The doctors, not wanting to have the nurses present, realized after Florence got there that they were of assistance and that things were improving, so they agreed to allow the nurses to stay. Florence Nightingale also had several different accomplishments throughout her career. She helped set up the Army Medical College in Chatham. She published a book called Notes on Nursing, What Is and What Is Not, which gives advice on good patient care and safe hospital environments. When Florence returned from the Crimean War, she was awarded a brooch from the Queen that was engraved. It became known as the Nightingale Jewel. She was also granted $250,000 from Britain. She used the $250,000 to establish the Nightingale School of Nursing, which was established at St. Thomas Hospital. Nightingale had a big part in making nursing an honorable career. Nobody looked down on nursing anymore once Nightingale put her training into use. At the age of 38, Nightingale became ill with the Crimean fever. She became bedbound and housebound, but she would not let that keep her down. She continued her passion and continued being a nurse. She consulted for the U.S. Army during the U.S. Civil War on how to keep field infirmaries sanitized and how best to set it up. She also became a consultant for many different sanitation projects throughout the world. In 1910, at the age of 90, Florence, who worked up until the day before she died, passed away. From that point on, we started celebrating National Nurses Week on the week of Florence's birthday, May 12th. As you can see, Florence Nightingale has had many different influences throughout the nursing fields. Many of the tools that we use now, nurses' notes and care plans that are specific to the patient, Florence set up herself. So next time that you're at the hospital and the nurse comes in to check on you at night, remember the lady with the lamp.